Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name is Freedom, thank you for joining me today. Today's episode is a viewer request. It is sent in by the universe, that's their name, and the question was about the new supply and why the new supply copies us. Before I start, lovelies, can I just quickly remind you, if you like my videos, to like them, subscribe to the channel, make sure you've hit the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. That's the other thing. All right, let's get down to this. So, I've got some notes here. Look, they reckon that imitation is the highest form of flattery. We've all heard that saying, right? But when the new supply starts kind of transforming or morphing into a version of you right before your very eyes, it can be quite surreal. Now, there's a few ways that this can and does happen. It can be things like, how they look. For example, all of a sudden, the brunette with straight hair has cut her hair short, dyed it blonde and made it curly. Or the short red-haired woman has now got long brunette extensions, So it could be physically the new supply is impersonating us, or it could be the way they dress, the way they act, the things that they are doing. Now, there's a few reasons that I think this is happening. And neither of them are good. Let's just put it that way. The first thing I think is, if it's a conscious thing that they're doing, it's probably because the narcissist has either been in their ear, talking about you, mentioning you, or maybe they've, caught the narcissist looking at your photo, or maybe they just sense, especially if there's been no time between your two situationships, maybe they sense that the narcissist is still thinking about you. So maybe on a conscious level, they are trying to look like you, so look the way he likes. And sorry, I just had a little memory glitch. So he might be saying things like, subtle things like, I love blondes, but my wife would never go blonde enough. So she's trying to please him. She's out there making her hair blonde, without making the actual connection that she's looking like you. So it could be an unconscious thing as well. She may not even really be aware of the fact that she is, in effect, looking like you and acting like you. They also say that, that people kind of, partners over the years tend to look more and more like each other. And that families, for example, families where you've had an adopted child, everyone looks the same after a while because of things like, the same facial mannerisms or gestures or, living a certain lifestyle. I mean, all that kind of stuff, that shows on your face. So if you're someone who's always like looking down your nose at people and scowling and whatever, after a while, you're going to end up over the years looking like, sour or grape with a long nose. And it's just, that kind of thing is, that's just genetics and that's just the way it happens. Not genetics, but that's just the way it happens, It's not necessarily a conscious thing, Maybe she does act like him, just like you used to act like him, So maybe she looks more depressed or more angry, or, she's kind of taking on a role. And maybe that makes her look more like you than she did before. The other angle is that it's coming from a position of jealousy. So she feels threatened by you. She feels insecure. Her relationship, it feels under threat. So she is essentially trying to show him, that, look, I can be her. I can be that woman. I can look like her. I can act like her. I can be that woman. And the thing with the narcissist is that they, the people are so kind of interchangeable to them that works for a narcissist. That literally does work. He may encourage her to change the way she looks to make her look more like you because he likes that particular look. Perhaps he got you to look like that. Perhaps you changed your look without even realizing because he said he liked this or he acted disapprovingly. When you came back from the hairdressers when you had a certain hairstyle, so you made a kind of subconscious note to yourself to not cut your hair that particular way, and then you listen to the subtle commentary that he makes about, oh, so-and-so on television, she's gorgeous. You make an observation, oh, she's got hair that's totally different to mine, and this is the way that narcissists groom their supply into being grade A supply. They groom them into being and looking the way the narcissist likes. So she is, like I said, on a subconscious level, she's insecure, she feels threatened by you and jealous of the kind of connection or relationship or time that you had with the narcissist, so she is trying to replace you, essentially. And as I said, he will be happy to let her do that. I'm sure there are some, particular relationships and situationships where the narcissist, from a certain angle, if they close their eyes right or whatever, can imagine that the new supply is actually the former primary supply. Sad, but not necessarily untrue. All right, lovelies. And the final thing is, she's trying to fill your shoes and live up to his expectations. The irony of that, though, the irony of the new supply trying to look like the former supply, considering the relationship failed, is, I don't know, it's strange. Me personally, I think it's strange, but I have seen it. I've seen it in many real life instances, and it is a real thing. It happens not only in narcissistically abusive relationships, it happens in a lot of relationships kind of across the board, where people are insecure, where people don't have a formed sense of self. They are quite often ready to change, transform, and metamorphosize themselves into something else to please someone else. So, about time everyone gets a bit more self-esteem, I think. All right, lovelies. Thank you for watching. If anyone wants a one-on-one, the link will be in the description box. I have a few sessions available this week. And that's about it, lovelies. All right. Bye.